Aloha, I'm going to show you that beat again. I hope you dig on it. The concept and the takeaway from this is when you're doing any beat, you want to figure out what those beats are together, you need to disassemble it. So for the standard beat, the rock and roll beat that we had, we'd have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I don't have to count out eighth notes, but it's good to do because I know that one of my other hands is going to be doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if I've got my 1 and 2, I know that when I'm going to play my snare on 2, 1 and 2, I'm going to have my snare from my left hand being held down with 1 and. When I have the 1 and, my hand goes up on the and then down on the 2. When I go to play that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, playing the snare on the 2 and the 4 requires me to lift the hand on the and of 1 and then on the and of 3. So when we have those beats, we break it down to a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Whole note on the right bass kick, whole note on the 1. Then we do the left hand snare. 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. Notice how I'm keeping the snare head, the tip of the stick, as close to the snare as I can, not up here, so I could have quick impact, either with a wrist or with a finger. Cool? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. This concept takes the original beat that has a whole note and then a whole note on the 2 and puts an extra beat on the 4. This is closer to the cha-cha beat because you will have a beat on the 2 and then on the 4 and. So when we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we don't actually have to go crazy with our arms. We can just keep it really close. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Bass and snare and bass and snare. We can do it on the 1 and the 3 for the bass, just on the 1. But the concept we're going to do is that beat leads into the next beat of boom, 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 boom. If we're doing a beat on each one of these, we've got eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When we add a beat, we would have had our bass. Bass, hi-hat, bass, hi-hat, bass, hi-hat, bass, hi-hat. When we're going back and forth with our left and our right foot, we're exhibiting eighth notes. We would then add the cymbal up top to mimic both of the beats. Eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The concept is when we add in our snare, if we had just this, we'd have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Well, that's a great way to get our hand going with having 1 and snare with our left hand, 2 and 3 and 4 and. You'll see how that our hand for the snare on the 2 will line up with the downbeat of the second eighth note. And then when we play an eighth note through, on the third eighth note, we play 4 and. That way, this hand is teaming up with our snare hand. So this week, try and go through that. Other than that, I'd like you to do the bluegrass beat that's on Back on the Train, which exhibits being able to go back and forth. We're going to have a switch back and forth between eighth notes and quarters, right? Or eighth note and half note. So we'd have 1, 1 and, 1, 1 and, 1, 2, eighth note, half note, eighth note. And when we speed that up, it's a little precursor to being able to do bluegrass. Now, that's not the bluegrass beat. The bluegrass beat is going to be like back and forth with a eighth note, rest, quarter, eighth note, rest, half note, eighth note, rest, half note. You can also do eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, eighth note. And here's the conscious effort. If we can see that even in the 808 beat, the rest, triplet, 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a rest, triplet. You can just keep that triplet, 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 triplet. Now, of course, I'm doing it with one hand. Right. Triplet, triplet, triplet. But see how I'm able to keep this beat going here and anywhere. Eighth note, triplets. Triplet, 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 16. So what we do is we try that at slow beats, at medium beats, and then at fast beats. Try that bluegrass beat this week, see what you think. I really like Fish, I hope you like him too. Aloha!